welcome to another battle report from Jetcar. Today I have the pleasure to play Joe and his vampire count army, and I'm deploying my dragon host. As you can see, my dragon fluffed armies. We have two 2,500 points armies. We play in the battle line. We have 2 impassable terrain houses, 2 buildings, 2 forests, and 2 hills. My level 2 of Slanesh gets Historical Frenzy, that's the turn card. I don't know, I misplaced my card somewhere. Cacophony Choir and Acquiescence. The Vampire Count army has 3 level 1s, and they have all the invocation of whatever his name. So we've set up the symmetrically opposed from the battle line, and deployment. He puts his big block of skeletons. I put my chaff warhounds, he puts his ghouls and his graveguards, and behind he puts his terrorgeist. I put my 2 cameras and my dragon lord on the right hand side, thinking I need to flank these big units, and then I chaff up with a chariot and the dragon ogres on the left flank on the bottom right side there. Next are the Vanguard moves. My level 2 Slanesh and my 2 chaff dragon hounds forward. He charges his cryptoras into the dragon hounds. They decide to flee with them, and he rolls a 12 and I roll an 11. First kill of the day. His terrorgeist move on the right hand side there and screams at my sorcerer and rolls a 10, so sorcerer has no ward save, so he dies. In my turn I charge and the Chaos Warriors into the crypt. I decide to move my warhounds to chaff off his big block of ghouls with the 2 level characters in there, 2 vampires. And then the terrorgeist at the bottom from his general can only has a threat range of 18-inch, which is just where I put my dragon ogres and my chariot. The BSB uses the ruby ring to cast a fireball at the unit of ghouls with 2 characters and causes a couple of wounds. I have no shooting. In combat, the 2 cameras and the block of warriors go to town on the crypt horrors, and there is 3 remaining crypt horrors at the end of combat, and I think I lost a couple of warriors and a couple of wounds on one of the cameras. Behind the building there you see this block of skeletons. He cannot really pivot, and then he cannot charge me with his ghouls, so it's either he goes with the skeletons and he cannot charge, he will offer me a big flank with his ghouls, or he goes with his ghouls, and that's what he decides to do. He then charges his block of graveguards with his vampire general into my warriors and one of the cameras. He moves his terrorgeist closer to the action. In the shooting phase, his terrorgeist screams into the warriors, and I lose about 10 of them, I think. Yeah, that was 6 for the standing dragon ogres. In combat, attack with the dragon hounds because there's 2 characters plus about 40 ghouls in there. Combat versus the general vampire, the crypt horrors, and the graveguards. His general does a few wounds, but not enough to kill the camera. I think it's on 1 wound left, the middle one. The right camera just finishes the unit of crypt horrors. The warriors plus the other camera dwindle his graveguards before they retaliate. And there's a lot of attacks there. I can see all the dice. I've got 1 rank left of warriors, 3 warriors left. Still have 2 cameras though, which is pretty good. However, 1 is now out of combat. In my turn 2, I declare a charge with the Dragon Master and his back scratcher onto the flank of his unit of ghouls and vampire general. With hindsight, I should have charged the out of combat camera first, but there you go. And then I shuffle forward my dragon ogres and my chariot. I then fly over the camera in this back rank just to take care of the business if it needs to be later on. I move my BSB forward. And then in magic phase, he casts a fireball onto the terrorgeist to get another wound, and it is not liking it, not one bit. But I'm sad to say that in combat, his vampire lord finishes the 1 wound on the camera. I did declare a challenge with my back scratcher on top of the dragon, and he fed me his champion unit. And we were looking, can you breathe fire into the unit if you're a challenge, or can you thunderstomp? And we played the fire right, but the thunderstorm we didn't. The Lord kills the champion, the dragon cannot hit, so I don't have the opportunity to get a lot of overkill points. He wins by killing all the warriors and reforms to face the dragon and the back. As you could have seen there, in his army towards the dragon. In his magic phase, he regrows a couple of models. In his shooting phase, the Terrorghast at the top screams at the Dragon Lord, so we roll for location, and for his trouble, the Lord takes a wound, failed a couple of wall saves there. Oh, one wall save, sorry. And the Dragon takes on 2 of the remaining, which weren't allocated to the Lord. In combat, his general just goes to town to my Lord, and I just forgot to reroll ones for my wall save with the third eye of the inch, so took the 2 remaining wounds off the back scratcher, and the dragon is on his own, but he passes his save, so he still acts as normal. My opponent gets 100 points for the general, but there's still 620 to grab if he kills the dragon, so my goal is to stop doing so. I play Thunderstomp on the unit, which cannot happen because I was in a challenge. So to make things right, my dragon fails his small check and runs away and gets away. My turn 3. I charged the BSB into, well, let's do it in order. I charged the chariot into the top Terrorgeist. I charge the bottom chariot into the ghouls, leaving no space for the dragon ogres, which make it, which is great. I charge the BSB into the ghouls and the camera into the ghouls. The dragon passes moral check, turns around and breathes into the graveguard. Gets 12 hits and I think 8 casualties, which is pretty good. The chariot, with its impact hits and attacks on the top, destroys the cameras and then turns around to face the potential dragon slash graveguard combat next turn. The combat with the ghouls and all my units there is 2 vampires hit the dragon ogres. He knows they have the least armor, and one of them, by the way, is a champion. So I challenged, and one of his character fights it. He causes 4 wounds on the unit, so that's 1 model off. My chariot impact do a lot of damage. My chimeras just hits for like a truck on his side, and my remaining dragon ogres just go to town to the unit. With a combat raise, he ends up with a character and 2 models left in the unit. The general and the graveguard charge the dragon, who will fly off the table if I roll a 12, but I still flee and successfully flee away from the unit by 1 inch. I was very lucky. In movement, he shuffles his skeletons so they can be in the game next turn. Fortunately, they were too close to the tower. In magic phase, he regrowth a couple of models in his unit of ghouls. His Terrorgeist kills my BSB with a nasty scream. I told you, he was upset at the fireballs from previous turns. The combat is pretty much one-sided. He's gonna kill another model from Dragon Ogres and leave the remaining with, I think, 2 wounds or 1 wound left. His unit is destroyed, and my models reform, so in my turn 4 I can then charge his other units, which is very fortunate. The chariot and the camera charge the Terrorgeist and pass a dangerous terrain check. The chariot at the top charged the back of the general's unit, thinking I could potentially save me 620 points if I hold the unit. The Vampire Lord turns around, slaps the chariot, and is dead. The impact hits, and the camera just do a quick business of the Terrorgeist. His general charges the dragon. He gets greedy, casts a spell, miscasts, and kills 4 of these guys, takes a wound. His Vampire Lord then goes first, rolls 5 attacks, hits 5 times. He wounds on 3 and gets none. That was incredible. I moved the tower for you to see. The dragon hits the unit, kills everything in combat raise, and he gives up. He's got nothing left on his table. So the Master Dragon is victorious and he's alive. Hooray! Hope you enjoyed this battle report. It was an interesting one. A lot of combat, always with my opponent playing the vampire accounts. Lots of combat res. Yeah, still need to learn a bit more to play with my new BSB, newly addition to the army. And with my dragons, I think I've got it pretty much kitted down to what I want to play. Hopefully you will see a battle report very soon. Hope you enjoy. If you have any comment, please leave them below, and see you next time. Bye bye.